Hello everybody, and welcome to the GKaiser age. This is Lucian GKaiser, and today we'll be talking about the new Gundam Breaker game recently released on PlayStation 4 and several other platforms including Steam. So let's get started. GKaiser age, go! Since its release, new Gundam Breaker has been a very enjoyable game for me. And as you can see, some of my builds that I have made over the last few days in the game have been made from some of my favorite mobile suits. The build options are truly amazing, and this is just the initial amount of 115 mobile suits with more to be released at later dates. Now, I'm going to start out by saying that this is just my initial review of the current build of the game, and there's already been an announcement that there are several issues in the game that will be patched sometime down the road in the month of July of 2018. So that's why I want to just go ahead and talk about the game's current status, so people that are currently interested in possibly picking it up will know what the current game is like. So, let's get the issues out of the way to start out with on this review. The loading between menu screens has a good 1 to 2 second delay, after which you can, of course, access the content in that particular menu screen, and this can get very annoying over time. Also, when you launch in a mobile suit, the animation that's supposed to show your custom mobile suit launching stutters as it loads, and the sound effects are off greatly because the actual animation is well behind by a good 3 to 4 seconds. But still, it looks very cool in the animation part to see your mobile suit that you custom designed launching through the launch bay. During the actual battles, the game will sometimes freeze while loading certain quests during the mission, but I have to admit that I am impressed that there is no slowdown even with large amounts of enemies on the screen. Another issue is the target lock, which is cycled through the right analog for you to select whichever target that you want to be locked onto. And the issue is with that, I reflexively use the right analog to move my camera angle, and of course when I do that to try and get a better angle at where the enemies are coming from, it forces me to cycle through other targets. The worst part about this is if you're in the middle of hitting an attack button and you do this, you will immediately go zooming towards that newly targeted enemy, even if it turns you away from the other ones, allowing them to get some easy shots into the backside of your mobile suit. Now, of course, once you are locked onto a target, if you do want to snap your view to that particular target, if they maneuver behind you or out of your field of view, you once again can hit that attack button and your mobile suit will snap to their view. But still, the urge to use my right analog stick to actually manually view things really makes it difficult, and it's something I'm hoping that they're going to patch in the future on the game and make it an option to change that particular configuration. We will discuss more of the issues with the battle system later, but for now, let's get into the good stuff, starting with building your own mobile suit, customizing its skills, and finally painting it in own unique style. The building process is so much fun in the game. You have a pretty robust roster of mobile suits, though I have to admit some staple mobile suits are missing. A good example of this is you get the Wing Gundam, but instead of getting the classic original tall geese, you get the Tallgeese 2, which you could recolor and sort of get the first version, but it is still strange that you don't get any of the other mobile suits from that series, just those particular two. Still, the assortment of mobile suits currently available is great, with various combinations that you can make with them along with their iconic weapons. The weapons have alternate firing modes, like beam rifles can fire a single beam shot or unleash a beam blast. Rifles with grenade launchers can fire those versus the normal shot. And yes, funnels and bits can be used, though they're not as effective as I would have hoped. They have the issue of missing targets because they pretty much just fly in a straight line after you unleash them, which is something I hope will also be patched in future updates for the game. Now, you have about 115 mobile suits currently available, and the build options with them are just fantastic. There are going to be more mobile suits that will be, of course, released in future updates on the game. Another interesting thing about the weapons is some weapons that double as both a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, and you get versions of each of those that can be mounted on the mobile suit. A good example of this is the Exia's GN sword. This can be mounted in sword mode as the melee weapon, and if you want to use the GN rifle of it, you can mount the GN rifle as the ranged weapon. And they both mount on the same arm, so when you change between the two modes, it's very cool. It stays on that same arm, so you can see it change between them. Now, of course, with this, that means you can have the Exia's GN sword and a different ranged weapon, or you can have the Exia's GN sword and rifle mode and have a different melee weapon. I really like that option, and it's kind of cool, so you can kind of flip-flop between them. Now, one of the big factors in how your mobile suit performs is not only the stats of the parts that you equip, but the inner frame that you select to use. There are 5 unique inner frames with different attributes. The balance frame is a jack of all trades, versatile but very basic with its skills. The striker frame, my favorite currently, is all about high HP and getting in the enemy's face with some massive melee damage. The gunner frame is all about boosting ranged attack and melee power at the cost of HP and basically making you a glass cannon. The enchanter is about boosting the EX skills you have and has the highest HP, but low normal and melee ranged attack power. And the searcher frame is all about speed and recovery, supporting your team in the main battle, usually used for like multiplayer backup and support when you're doing a multiplayer game. With this variety of frames of mobile suit parts, you can create some amazing combinations that suit your own play style. Painting and putting decals on your newly made mobile suit is amazingly fun and so well detailed. The way they set it up so you can do like an overall coloring of all the parts, or you can paint individual parts. You can make custom colors. You can make them glossy or matte. You can also adjust the amount of gloss and matte on those parts as well for the colors. You can also do color washing, airbrushing style for the paint, and there are also camo patterns available that you can change the colors of that camo pattern to make more custom patterns that fit your particular style of gunpla building and decoration. The separations on the colors on the parts is really well done in the game. You can nearly paint each part its own separate color on that particular part. So like in the case of the arms, you can paint the forearm one specific color. You can paint, the other parts of the arm and the shoulder pad and different parts of it in different, amounts of coloring and different types of coloring and patterns. So you can really create just a kaleidoscope of different colors on your gunpla, or just have, a more basic militaristic style coloring. I just really love all the options that they give you. The game also includes decal markings from several various series, so you could have a Freedom Gundam with Xeon markings on it, or the Shinanju with Earth Force markings on it, along with unit numbers. For even more detail, you can also up the level of chipping and damage marking on the actual mobile suit, making it look like it's been through some intense battles. You can even put grime on the feet, so you can have that kind of it's been chugging through the mud or through rough terrain kind of look on it too. I just really love all these options because it really helps to enhance the look of the mobile suit. Now, once you are done building and selecting the skills and painting, you can even rename the Gundam you made, which is very nice, and you can easily go back to it and modify it with any new parts that you may have gotten. Each part can have one or many EX skills attached to them. These EX skills can range from basic melee moves like a punch to things like using the hip-mounted beam sabers or weapons on that particular mobile suit's legs. You can even deploy special abilities like the GN field to decrease damage you take, or you can even activate the NTD system to increase your speed and mobility. Some more of the interesting ones are like the parts that have multiple abilities. For instance, the legs from the Buster Gundam from Gundam Seed have the Buster Gundam's beam cannon and beam shotgun weapons attached to it. When you go to select the skill you want, you can choose to do the combination that forms the long-range beam cannon or the massive beam shotgun, or you can configure the weapons to be just fired individually from the hip through one of the other skills. I really like this because it lets you select what you want to use on your particular mobile suit build. Even the shields have unique skills. The Wing Gundam one allows you to use the beam saber that's actually mounted in it as a melee attack. Others, like the Aegis Gundam shield, allow you to throw it dealing melee damage, and believe me, if you've ever watched Gundam Seed, the TV series, you know how deadly the Aegis' shield toss can be. Okay, so now that I'm done building this particular mobile suit for this video, let's go ahead and take this mobile suit out on a test run and talk about the battle system, along with showing off some of my other mobile suit designs in battle as well. So, Lucian GKaiser, GM Blue Spectre, launching into battle. Okay, welcome to the battle arena. We will start by talking about the missions themselves. Each mission has quests that generate during the 10-minute time frame. You have to complete these quests by either destroying a certain number of neutral forces, which are NPC mobile suits that attack you and the enemy team. Sometimes you just have to kill a highlighted enemy mobile suit and recover its parts back to your storage box. Each team gets a storage box where you can dump parts that you picked up after breaking them off of an enemy mobile suit, as you can only carry up to 5 of them in your inventory at a time. Now, your box will change positions as you complete quests during the mission. Any parts that you have in your inventory on your mobile suit can be swapped for your current build. If one of the parts was broken off, you can also pick up a part on the ground that, of course, can be put back onto your mobile suit, whether it was the original part or a different part to replace it. Parts have HP, so they can be pretty much wrecked when you put them back on, and of course get easily broken back off again unless you use an HP recovery skill or use your awaken mode to recover those parts. If you can find your original parts, definitely try and pick them up because of course your skills are key to it, but you can always use the skills from any other parts that you pick up. They just may not be effective or the type of part skill that you want to actually have on your mobile suit. At the start of battle, all of your parts EX skills are locked. In order to unlock them, you need to get enhancement particles from either breaking open containers on the field or from defeating enemies. Once you rank up enough from getting those particles, your skills will become unlocked. After you use a certain EX skill, they have a cooldown before they can be used again. And this cooldown level varies depending on the skill, and also your ranged weapon also has, once its ammo is expended, its own cooldown period. But that can be shortened by only firing, like say, maybe 3 of the 5 shots that you have before depleting the gauge, making it quick to recover back to full. Now, you also have what's called the burst gauge, which slowly builds up from the start of the battle, and then once it is full, you can activate your Inner Frames Awaken mode, giving you more power, recovering all of your original parts back to full HP, and allowing you to use a one-off Awaken special attack. It's best to get in as many attacks with just your regular skills and your melee and range in Awaken mode before unleashing your Inner Frames EX skill, because once you do, Awaken mode ends. I have to say, I really love the way they replicate everything for the skill effects in the game. One of my favorites is the satellite cannon from Gundam X's backpack. You actually see the beam of energy from the moon charging your mobile suit before it fires that massive beam attack. In order to win the mission, you have to either earn enough ace points from completing quests during the mission before the time limit expires, or beating the final quest boss mission, or should say final quest boss, which is usually a mobile armor like the Absolus or even the Hashmal from Iron-Blooded Orphans. Once the mission is complete, you get to see what parts you gained and sell the ones that are just copies of the ones that you already have. You can use the GP points that you earn from both the mission and the parts sold to visit the library to buy specific parts for mobile suits, but they are very expensive, and most times you're better off just farming the same mission over again to get the parts from that specific mobile suit, and then just buying the most rare parts to finish a particular build. Like if you're still missing the head for a particular mobile suit but you rarely see it, then that's when you want to really spend your points. Now, while the battles are pretty fun, there are some very negative aspects, one of them being the most annoying of all, their air juggled beatdown. If you've ever played or watched fighting games, an air juggle essentially forces an opponent's character into the air, juggling them with strings of attacks, preventing them from being able to do anything except take the damage until the string ends. Sadly, when this happens in New Gundam Breaker, most times it will end up with you going from full HP to 0 as all 3 enemy aces decide to suddenly all attack you. I've heard that there's a patch in the works to fix this, and I cannot wait until it gets here, because this can be very annoying to happen to you if you just got your hands on a rare part that you needed and lose it because you end up dropping it due to your death. And of course, if a part is dropped, the enemy may pick it up, or it may fade as the mission for that, or the quest that item was tied to, may have already ended at that time. Knockdown is another headache in the game. If you get knocked down, you can push the boost button to quickly get back up, but the AI will instantly, and I do mean instantly, shoot you at the exact moment your invincibility frame ends. What happens next will be either you get knocked back down again, you may get knocked into the air, forcing you into another death aerial juggle, or on the rare occasion, you get to actually fight back. When you knock down an enemy ace, the roles are reversed. Even when you get ready to hit them, when they get up, they can sometimes instantly turn around and shoot you and knock you back down. So it can be very frustrating, and something I heard and hope will definitely be patched at some point in the near future. Still, with all of these negatives, I do enjoy playing the game. It's not as fun a battle system as, say, Dynasty Warriors Gundam series, of which I've played all the games, and believe me, if you can find them, pick them up. They are pretty awesome, especially in my opinion, Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3 and Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn. As for this game, I would probably recommend waiting for a price drop and for the first round of patches that are due to be released sometime in July 2018 and further. It's definitely a fun game, but honestly the best part of it right now is building and coming up with some amazing combinations of not only parts, skills, and looks and painting, but also to getting to testing them in an actual battle situation. The story is meh. It's the usual new kid at school has to take down the evil, over-controlling student council with the help of a ragtag team of people with good hearts. It's so by the books and cliche, I literally was just skipping through most of the dialogue, but I can say that at least it had some funny and decent parts in it. Just don't expect anything deep or really thought-provoking. It's pretty much goes the way you would think any kind of story like that would go. But I definitely have to say, give this game a try if you're looking for a fun time building Gunpla, making custom figures with special skills from different series, and just having fun with building and playing with the custom build that you've made. And definitely pick it up at a good price. Don't pay full price for it. It's definitely not worth the $59.99. I got mine discounted because I had it pre-ordered and on Amazon through my Amazon Prime, so they discounted it a good bit for me, but still, I would definitely say maybe $40 at the most. So again, this is Lucian GKaiser from the GKaiser Age. If you love anime, gaming, entertainment media, check out more of my content on my YouTube channel. Please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content, and definitely let me know what you think of new Gundam Breaker. Also, check out my Facebook page and Twitter. I'll be posting more videos and screenshots of some of my builds from the game as I make them. Again, this is Lucian GKaiser, signing out until the next battle.